see everywhere. It's good to see everywhere.
Exactly. Good, bad, and the ugly everywhere, right?
100%. I used to live here in Lakewood when I was in 9th and 10th grade. I love Lakewood. There's so much Jewish life here. It's so easy to be Jewish, and everything's cheaper. It's amazing here.
Why did Lakewood become such a large Jewish hub?
So I think it started with BMG. We started Kitover, and then we have a lot. You know BMG?
Yeah, tell me more about BMG, though. Right? I hear it's like the Harvard of yeshivas.
Yes, it's top notch. You just sit and learn all day. You already finished your high school phase. Those people went to Israel already, came back, and they just sit and learn all the time. It's amazing. I used to do it when I was a teenager. Lakewood's an amazing place and everything, and I think I've seen your videos all over. I just think that people get nervous and stuff like that, but you're just coming here filming the truth, and you're working just like we are. That's it. We're all in the same boat.
What should we know about Lakewood?
Great place. You're always welcome here.
Thank you. Yeah, we got it's welcoming for the most part. A few guys are fired up. We try to give them the chance to speak, have conversation.
So you guys can't see this in the video, but that guy seems very reasonable, very accommodating. But now he's got some other dude stepping in between them, trying to shove him in the car, telling him stop, don't talk, don't say anything. That's weird ass behavior.
What whisper did we miss?
Nothing. I gotta go now, but
I love it. To a T. A guy gets a whisper, and he goes quiet. Would you like to say anything? How you doing? Or with this guy whispering in his brethren's ears?
Kitover, I saw you come up with Mike.
No, I was on a phone call. I apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good, bro. Yeah, no apology needed, man. I just want to give people an opportunity to chime in. So,
you're a great mom. Thanks.
Hey, what's going on, 3C?
when you get done with this video, play that video that I sent you. It got something to do with the same thing we're talking about.
Okay, do me a favor. Hey, do me a favor. Send it to my back channel because it's gonna get lost in the chat. And Adrian, that video you shared too, you can send that to me in my back channel. Because it's gonna get lost in the chat.
Can you put it in the chat too? So
yeah, please put it in the chat again too, so other people can take a look at it.
He comes up when they're talking to him sweet, and he goes, psst, psst, psst. When they stop talking, it is miraculous. Tyler, good to meet you. What's your name? Let's go. We just got up with the guy. He was like pissed off that we come around here and explore. This guy's killing me, dude. He's treating me like a child.
I know.
This is pathetic. He's treating you like a child. Who is this guy? Why are you guys? This is pathetic. Let the man speak.
I got him.
Does that not look like suspicious activity? Why is there so much secrecy if you have nothing to hide? Why would he do that?
Navy Federal was just getting 60 seconds.
He's the head whisperer. All right, tell me what you're going to say.
B-Way looking at me trying to soak it up. You can't get that car. You can't get that car.
Gonna follow us. There's a police response, special response unit. I think that's they're gonna just trail us around. Amazing. So given that the cops are being called so often, they're just gonna follow us around all day. Land of the free, home of the brave. Then I stumbled upon a kosher collision. Another example of Lakewood's infamously terrible driving. We're just showing how densely trafficked it is out here, how much traffic there is. We wanted to show some of the driving differences out here.
Just a heads up, man. Last two videos he did on these communities in New Jersey, New York, he witnessed 5 to 6 accidents. I'm filming this in the same video. So that's why he's joking about the driving practices. I've never seen that many accidents. One of those small things here, the same day like that. That's what he did. Okay, cool. All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
That's very that's how it happened. Actually, no one totally fair, okay? You don't get pushed.
You know them are real guys.
Right, well, they're making up the story.
My real kids.
Oh, you just hit the wall. You hit anyone?
My real kids.
So, give me a I promise I'll make it work for you. All right, look, give me your email. All right, awesome. And what was your first name? Moshe. We're gonna do some big stuff.
You're afraid.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh man, these guys are next level. I feel like I got dropped off on an alien planet. And you might be wondering, what is Katsola and how are they able to blast through red lights like that? ran a red light, just like a police officer would do. No uniform. They had the Jewish uniform on, white pants and yeah. The colonel's in a police car is what it looked like, but he's not a police officer, and he's blasting through the lights like he is a cop. There's a Hot Zola billboard right there, Mike. What is that for?
Law enforcement, so they don't have the privilege to run through red lights.
Asala is an ambulance service, not a police service.
But it sounds like
It's for sick people. It's not police. It's ambulance.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it is an ambulance, but they're not an actual official law enforcement entity. What they do is it's like their own little private security, their own little community security, but it's not an actual licensed law enforcement agency. It's not a regulated law enforcement agency, but what you see them doing is acting and doing things like a law enforcement agency, which you can't do. Law enforcement agencies are exempt from certain rules, have certain privileges, the other vehicles, and that's what he's giving context to. That's what he's talking about. I will take that.
He's talking about the wrong thing.
Hey, and speaking about law enforcement, they train all of our law enforcement.
Not sure who they
No, not
you. Stop being so fragile.
So again, fuck up. Ask a question. All adults know to shut the fuck up and allow someone to answer without cutting them off and interjecting.
Yeah.
So again, to answer your question, in specific cases, that's why I use the term fraud, waste, and abuse. Whenever we talk about the misuse of taxpayer funds, those are the three categories that we classify them in: fraud, waste, and abuse. So there were earlier accounts of fraud, actual fraud, where people were actually indicted and sent to fucking prison. Okay, so yes, there have been a lot of cases of fraud, and that was pointed out in this video. What I'm talking about is it may not be illegal because that jurisdiction may not have laws on the books specifically for that. But what I'm implementing is there is a lot of abuse. And I'm sorry, the average American does not want to pay for somebody else's. They don't want tax money coming out of their paycheck to fund someone else who's not willing to fucking work. But go ahead, you can understand.
Okay. So I don't know. Is that a fraud?
It's abuse.
You know.
Okay,
So it's not a fraud.
Okay.
Hang on, we're having a conversation.
Hold on, Alan.
It's not a fraud and it's not a waste. Why is it an abuse?
Because Norm, Norm, here's the thing. I'm gonna send you all my bills, pay my bills, so I can just sit on my ass and play Xbox. Okay, would you be okay with that?
So do we give grants to people who
Norm, can you answer my question? Norm, can you answer my question? Are you okay? Are you okay with me sending you all my bills and all my debt so I can sit on my ass and not work and play Xbox all day? Would you be okay with that?
No, what does it have to do with what we're talking about?
Okay, that's the same logic I'm using to answer your question.
No, it has nothing to do with what we're
It is
talking
abuse.
about.
You have grown able-bodied men. Instead of playing Xbox, they're sitting in the synagogue studying books all day instead of going out working. And other people are funding their lifestyle, which you just said is not right.
Are you aware that we have programs that pay for people to study? Did you not know that? That we have grants? Did you never hear that? That we have scholarships and grants?
And it's wrong.
What about permitted?
I see. So you don't believe that the government should pay for study?
So what
No,
about
it's not the government. It's our money. We're going out busting and breaking up.
I'm taxpayer money that comes from the government, obviously.
Hold on, y'all gotta stop this shit, bro. Give them a chance to respond and ask his question.
Everybody is talking at once. Don't get all excited.
When I mute the stage, that doesn't mean you come off mute. You come off mute, I'm gonna kick you down. We're not gonna hurt the quality of this conversation. Give Norm a chance, because I want to be fair with this, and then I'm gonna let Alan and I'm gonna let Blake go because they wanted and whoever else I wanted to let them chime in. So go ahead, Norm.
So in this country, we have government money set aside for people who study. That's a fact. And there's public education, there are Pell Grants, there are scholarships. Yes. So explain to me why somebody who dedicates his life to study on Xbox, why is that a abuse or a waste? It's not a fraud. It's not an abuse. I guess you feel that it's a waste because you don't believe in what he's studying. But if somebody goes to study sociology or pediatrics or psychiatry, you might not agree with it, but nevertheless, the government provides money for that. Because in a liberal society, which is what we are, we believe in the citizens being educated, and we put money into that. So I don't see it as abuse either. Now, if you don't care for it, that's okay. Maybe you don't like the fact that he studies Torah. But I don't see any laws being broken. I don't see that it's wasteful because it seems to be a worthwhile thing to study. And I don't see that it's an abuse, frankly.
Okay, so let me respond to that real quick, and I'm gonna let Alan and Blake and some other people chime in as well. So again, the difference between public education is little kids can't work. That's why we all agree as a society that we'll chip in to get young kids. Okay, so that right there is a fallacy that you just constructed. So when you have grown ass able-bodied men who are capable of working and they're having a bunch of kids over what the average American is having, you're talking these guys are having 4 to 10 kids. Okay, no, you don't get to sit and study all day, and everybody else is paying your lifestyle, paying for your food, paying for your utilities, paying for your rent, paying. That's just not how we work as a society. We don't agree with that. So that, sir, right there is abuse. And when you have it at the numbers of thousands and thousands of these men in this community, these communities, and this is going on, yeah, that is 100% abuse. And Norm, you even agree. You wouldn't agree to pay my bills and pay my lifestyle for me to sit on my ass and not be productive all day. So if you want to study as a grown ass adult, you do it on your own dime. Now, scholars like that, okay, that's little incentives here and there, but able-bodied ass men to sit there and just let them sit on their ass and read all day and everybody else has to pay for it? No. Nobody with common sense is going to fucking allow that.
The same thing applies to college students and grad students and med students. We have programs that fund them not only for their study, but also for their living expenses. This is absolutely the American way.
Yeah, Norm, okay,
I was talking to Sig, I want to hear.
Yeah, I know, but
hold on. Guys, don't cut him off. Let him finish, and then Alan can go next, and we're going to let Blake go.
Very good.
Go ahead.
So yes, America believes in funding education. Bottom line, whether it's a kid or whether it's a grown-up. We send grown-ups to school, we send kids to school. It's considered a value of a liberal society. It's why we have free libraries, why we have community colleges, it's why we have free education. We believe in an educated citizenry. And certainly no laws being broken. So it's just that you don't like what he's studying, that's all, and that's okay, you don't have to. But I don't see that he's broken any laws. And you said thousands of thousands. I don't know how many it is. You haven't mentioned how many it is. But yes, there are some communities dedicated to study. And in my view, study is a noble thing. Now, you may feel differently. You may feel that building is a noble thing. I agree with you on that, too. You can get money to do a startup and create some sort of an application. I've done it myself. I've raised money for startups. I didn't get any from it. Well, I went to like startup incubators and so that are funded. But yes, this is a society that funds the pursuit of ideas and study. And I think that's valuable and I support it. I'll end it there. Alan.
all right. Well, Norm, I love when you use yours of debate to argue conservative cause. But this is not one of those cases. We, as a society, we do value education. Stuck your dick inside your wife 10 times and you got 10 kids. The time to study is over. We also value that in this society. And if you've now popped out 10 kids and you still want to study, we don't value that. And that there lies the problem. All of our liberal social programs are being re-examined in this time period. And I'm sorry, Norm, but Jews are no exception. And those Jewish communities that are doing the same thing that the Somalis and African Americans and Hispanics and any other ethnic group that is abusing the welfare system, they are going to be examined. And like the guy says in the video, there's one point he says, I forget the exact words, but we're at risk. No, the Jewish community is not going to be at risk if the able-bodied men have to go out and work go to the synagogue every day. Because the principle, and I know you're a principled man, the principle here is that as a liberal society, we are willing and feel a moral responsibility to help those who cannot help themselves. And if you try to argue that these men cannot help themselves, then you're going to lose the room. And this is what's being criticized. We value in this country, because you spoke a lot about what we value in this country, we value men who work and who take responsibility for their actions and live and deal with those consequences. You stuck your dick inside your wife, you got kids, you go out and work, period. And there is no reason why the rest of us should fund that, including any grants that the government may give. And using the comparison of kids, well, yeah, we give scholarships to kids on the assumption that they're not exactly adults. An 18-year-old is not exactly an adult. We give that to children. If this guy had 10 kids, I think you even consider there was a year between each one. Unless he married his wife when he was 10 and he's still 20, he's now in his 30s. He ain't a kid. So, no, I'm sorry. That argument doesn't hold water. But I will leave it at that.
I respect the consistency of your position as a conservative, and I appreciate your kind words to me. I will say that the Somali community was discovered stealing, having daycare centers with no kids in them. The Jewish community was discovered with an ambulance service. By the way, I've used that ambulance service for my mother, and they come before you even hang up the phone. They're fantastic, and they're volunteers. That's a legitimate thing. The Shomrim, or private security service, because, you ever hear one there's a joke in your town? Well, that has happened to us. Public Enemy. That's us as well. And so there's a private security. Again, that's a legitimate service. And then, again, somebody who you may disagree. Now, I have liberal values and you're a conservative, and that's good. That makes for a good conversation. I do believe in government funding, whether it's medical students or Torah students, whether it's psychiatric students or sociology students. I believe that we put some of our money towards the military, and I believe in that strongly, and we put some of our money towards education. I believe in that as well. What I don't see yet is there's anything that is either fraudulent, wasteful, or abusive. It's just a question of values.
Abusive is the one where
It's just a question of values. You may not value study, but this community does, and I see no laws being broken.
All right, so Blake, I want to let Blake go next, and just wait patiently, and then who else? I know somebody else. Okay,
I've been asking.
What's up, PP?
Yeah, it was Mustachio. Yeah, so Blake, Mustachio, and then 3C, and then Pepe. But go ahead, guys.
I mean, Alan pretty much spoke a lot of my points. My main thing was this, man. It's not that we found that it's legal yet. I mean, hopefully it gets investigated. Hopefully there is no fraud. But the more, it's like, look, nobody's going to pay me to go read the Bible while I got these 4 children to take care of. And I think that's the part that you kind of like deliberately jumping over. You're doing that lawyer thing that you're good at. And that, like, why I can't read the Bible and get paid for it? I'd like to study my Bible and get closer to God, But I gotta work all day. I gotta work 2 jobs, in fact, Norm, take care of my kids. So why does this guy get to do that? Why is there some supremacy in what he's studying? How is what he's studying contributing to my society? Because I mean, paying for a kid to go to medical school, I can see how that trade-off as a society, we saying this guy is going to contribute to society in some grand way. I can see how
somebody going off to school to be maybe even a lawyer. As many as we got. But this guy going to study the Torah. I mean, what? If there's some money out there
to go to divinity school as well, we got people on this app who have done so.
To study the Bible, to just sit around and read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I think you're missing the point. With 8 children in this real world that we live in, it's damn near impossible for a person working 50 to 40 hours a week and then working an additional 20 to 30 to supplement. It's damn near impossible to even see 2 children of your own. But you got 8 kids, and you still have the time to be able to just study. And like Alan said, I'm sorry, bro. When your threshold of mouths to feed exceed your desires, it's time to put down the guitar, bro. It's time to put down the football, bro. It's time you gotta go to work, my dude. There's a boundary.
Depends on your values.
No, it depends on what it is. Because this is the thing, bro. When this all evens out, if it all evens out, and we ever get to a place where there's no special protections about us even investigating and talking about this stuff freely, bro, y'all gonna meet the same fate that the Somalis are gonna meet soon. We're gonna find out that some books are not as clean or not as kosher as we think we are. But it's all speculation for now.
So you made it up. Okay, you made up a story.
I'm gonna build on top of what Blake said, because if any of y'all been in my room, you know that it focuses around God and the Bible and stuff like that. I'm actually in cahoots with my pastor to try to get into Bible college, or seminary, as some of you might call it. Now, yes, I might be able to get the schooling itself paid for, but I'm not going to get my apartment, my bills, and all that stuff paid for. I'm going to still have to work on top of going to school. And that's the point I think is trying to be pushed across here, that you're not getting Norm. The fact that I still have to go out and work every day, and then in my free time, I'm going to have to go to an online college where in my free time, I can study, I can read the Bible, I can do this stuff. Because I'm a single dad. I'm a single co-parent. I have my kid half the week. I live by myself. Ain't nobody going to pay my bills but me. So that's why it's not fair. That's what we're getting at here, is the fact that some of these guys can have 8, 9 kids and literally do nothing but sit and read the Torah all day. Which, as a Christian, that's the first 4 books of my Bible. So I have more to study than you do. And you get to sit, this Jewish person gets to sit around all day and just read the Torah, while I have to bust my ass and work 2 jobs. Because I don't get to drive Lyft anymore. I have to work at a car lot and work a side job with my dad just to be able to make ends meet. That's why it's not fair. That's why there's been a big deal about it. Because
Why would you think you can't do exactly what you have to do?
Would you not cut me off and let me finish first? I have to. Yes, you were.
That's not fair. Why would you think you
You're
can't
cutting
do
me off,
exactly?
Norman. That's one of the problems that everybody's having with you in this room.
I want you to
Because,
keep
well, then
going.
stop interrupting.
I'm not.
That's an issue.
Norm. So again, this is childish, immature, low IQ behavior. The fact that you were able to speak your piece, and I even told people to shut the fuck up to allow you to respond. You're disrespectful, bro. You're being given respect, but you're not giving it in return, and that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Miss Ashley. You got it.
I'm going to get ready to land my plane here, but I'm going to start back with, I'm going to say I have no problem with the Jews. I love the Jews. Yaakov's one of my very good friends on here. I've talked to you plenty of time over in Jeff's room. Norm, you know I have no problem with the Jews. But when I see something that is unfair, when I see something, why does this person get to do something that I don't get to do? Because I want to do that, but I can't. What makes them different? And it's literally just because they're Jewish? That's not fair to me.
I literally asked you 3 times, what makes you say you can't do it? And you said that was disrespectful. I knew you were landing your plane. You have landed your plane. And I asked you that question. Who says you can't do it? Why did you say that?
Life says I can't do it. I'm not going to be. I can't pay my bills if I'm just sitting around all the time. I'll get grants that pay grants or scholarships, or have to take out loans to go to school.
You know, there was actually a 16-year-old kid that was on like Dateline, and he said he couldn't get money because his parents were like super poor. Young black kid, he was 16 years old.
Hold on.
He actually went.
Pepe's next, bro. We got to order.
Oh, yeah.
This one. So yeah, go ahead, Pepe. You got the mic. Go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say is there was something they did that was very abusive, and what they did to those poor children in the schools there, they got the majority of the board there, and then they were putting money into their private, Jewish schools, and basically leaving the other kids, which were largely poor, with nothing. And then they talked about how they chose to close one of the schools and sell it like pennies on the dollar to the community to turn it into a Jewish school. I mean, it was very that was just very disgusting, and that's not those poor non-Jewish people there should not have had to deal with that shit. I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
So there was a political fight for public money?
No. It was not a political fight.
It's the same thing the Catholics and Protestants do to each other, Norman.
So what
I
happened?
I don't know what they do.
So I'll give you some context. So what happened is that the Jews voted for other Jews, and they overtook that school board. And then those Jews that were heading that school board purposely took money from other schools that were non-Jewish, which were predominantly black students, and shut down the funds going to those schools, so they'd be forced to shut down. And they sold those schools for pennies on the dollar to their own community to create a Jewish school. And that's all.
They reallocated funds.
They reallocated the funds to help themselves while they hurt other people, other communities of people.
And, if I may, I've heard the term liberal values being used, but that's an oxymoron. If the values that are being pushed are essentially not a value, they are a price. And the price is expected that the rest of us have to fund these monuments to liberalism, these useless kid-holding exercises of having grown-ups out there not actually learning to earn anything, but just expecting for this welfare to extend to the infantilism of people who just want to dictate to the world the programs that they want to run, while virtue signaling that they are the people who know the world better than the people that make it work and pay for it.
I mean, I just think this is really ironic. I know that the black community gets $45 billion a year in various public services in this country. $45 billion.
Don't cut them off. Let them go.
$45 billion year in and year out. No, I don't say they shouldn't get the money. I say if we have a social safety net, and again, you and I disagree on that probably because you identify as a conservative, if I understand you correctly, and I think you're consistent, so respect for that. The same thing to Alan, but I'm not a conservative, I'm a liberal, and I believe in a social safety net. And what I see is that on the one hand, and not from you, Sig, okay, but from others, Jews get criticized because we have too much money and we control everything. And then we get criticized because we have not enough money, and so we're relying on public funds to get by because we've decided to dedicate our lives to study.
But that's not a safety net.
Hang on a second, Pepe. It's like you can't. Well, sure it is. If you say that you're poor and you have kids, as far as I know, you get money to take care of those kids. However the welfare system is set up.
But not if you're intentionally not getting a job. That's entirely different.
There's no criterion about that, Pepe. And again, you're interrupting, and some people don't like that. And I don't mind your questions, but I wouldn't mind getting a complete thought out. And the question is, if Jews have a lot of money, we get criticized. We got too much money. If Jews get good jobs, then we get criticized because we are too highly represented in the ranks of government or the ranks of billionaires or the ranks of philanthropists. By the way, of any non-black group in the country, who gives the most to black communities, institutions? Jews.
No, we ain't doing that shit.
100% true.
Stop.
100% true.
Look.
100% true. Always has been.
Stop that shit.
Always
There's
has
no
been.
outlet. Stop using the black community for your bullshit, Norm. Just stand on your own shit. It is bullshit.
No, it's true. It's true.
It is
Sorry.
bullshit. So again,
I have to be honest with you.
100% true.
It's not for having too much money. It's for being systematically socially selfish.
What does that mean, selfish? Exactly.
Well,
you mean we take care of ourselves? So we get criticized for being on public funds, and then we get criticized for taking care of ourselves.
No,
you make it make sense, man.
so
I'll make it make sense. Yeah. Nobody wants a parasite.
That's right.
And that behavior of cultural parasitism is it's not open.
Why would you call a human being a parasite, sir? What kind of
trying to answer your question, and you're now
That's the term they use. That's what the communists would call people who didn't
Why
work.
would you call a human being a parasite, sir?
because they are feeding and sucking off of the livelihood of other people when it's fully capable.
I thought we pay more taxes than any other group on
Okay, so you
in the
can't
country.
actually let someone answer the question that
I'm
you
listening.
asked them
I'm
to
listening.
Okay, it's not, as you said, because you have too much money. It's because of the way that you harvest the people around you in an insular culture, and you don't consider everyone to be part of the same country. It's the Jewish community.
We are part of the same country. That's
Everybody
incorrect.
else is just there to be exploited.
That's incorrect.
That's
We
what
don't
makes
think
the
that.
culture unpopular.
This is a lie, sir. That's not what we think at all. You've just mischaracterized it.
Sorry, no. Okay, so now you're
You
going
told
to
a
play
lie,
victim
sir.
because I've called you out on a lie. It's not because you have too much money.
Oh, we can criticize for that.
It's the usury
That's
that
not a
you
lie.
apply to society.
What do you mean by
through this
usury, sir?
wagering.
Usury is charging interest like a credit card. You have credit
So
cards.
you cannot have anyone else speak. You're a typical liberal
You're
where you have to shout down any criticism.
Now
You
you're speaking.
interrupt halfway through.
You
You
said
don't know. I'm not going to
usury.
carry on talking.
I'm not surprised.
Usually,
Go ahead. Shut up, boy. I'm not entertaining this shit, bro. This is dumb as shit, bro. It's fucking dumb.
this is the problem. It's when people turn around and say, look, we're all part of the society. We are working and we look after our own families. That is a responsibility where we actually eat what we kill. But when you have a parasitical community and culture that wants to take taxes and usury off of everybody else and all of their labours, but not actually contribute to the larger piece of society themselves, because their own community is more important than the country that they belong to, that is parasitical. And when you have that behaviour that we just saw, which is as soon as that's called out, all of a sudden it's massively offensive and it can't be spoken about. That's why they got chased out of 190 countries.
It was 109.
But to be fair, you should in Israel. They a lot of people will bitch about their Haredi community there too. Because they do the same thing. Every other Jew in Israel has to serve in the IDF, for example. These guys get to sit home and read the Torah and learn, and and they also have a shit ton of kids, and they often are
That's what I said from the outset.
So
Nobody
I
else agrees.
wouldn't say that. So I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a Jewish thing, but I would say just like how we have, what is it, Melanites? We have like weird people.
Mennonites.
Mennonites,
Amish, Quakers.
we do have, I know the FLDS here in Arizona was notorious for doing that exact same thing, and they were secretly practicing polygamy, but it was huge welfare for all.
Point of order, moderator. Moderator, point of order. This is Magus. Put me in your queue, please.
They obviously have values that are not shared and put importance on things that the rest of the country doesn't. We have diverging interests, and I don't know.
This is Magus. Please put me in your queue. Moderator, this is Magus. Please put me in your queue. Thank you.
1 second, Sig. I just have one thing to say. fact that nobody ever looks at the room.
Wait. I just gotta explain something real quick.
There's U.S. diplomats in this room right now.
Hold on, Beth. I'm gonna let you go. Just relax for a second. I'm normal. We're adults here, bro. I'm not bringing you back up because you're being disingenuous as shit. All right, you're hurting the quality of the conversation. You're not being an honest player, bro. And I'm mad disappointed in you. You're not being an honest fucking player. To sit here and say you wouldn't support me sitting on my ass, you wouldn't pay all my bills. That's the same logic we're using, but you're combating that. So what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. And if you're not willing to socialize the hard work that you do and the money that you earn to pay somebody else's lifestyle while they sit on their ass and don't do shit and create a bunch of expenses, you're not going to chastise the room for having that same approach when we just apply it on a macro scale. Damn right, is it? But I know Rich has been waiting, and then Beth, you can go after Rich. And then
Magus.
you can go.
I'm just gonna be super quick.
Wait, hold on. Hey, I'm issuing a fair warning in your space, bro. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yeah, we're not playing a kiss the ring thing. I'm just gonna speak real quick. Okay. And I'm just trying to do the kiss the ring thing. Okay?
Hold on. So again, I got. Hold on 1 second, Adrian. Yeah, I got rules in my house, man. You're gonna follow the rules, keep the stage productive, and keep the conversation. So Adrian's gonna speak, and then we'll resume in that Q order. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, I'm just giving fair warning. And my brother Safe Space, he just wants you motherfuckers to respect his rules of his goddamn space. Everybody in here is a fucking adult. If you cannot respect the rules of the fucking room or the space, do not then try to engage in the conversation, because I will shoot your ass on a first-class flight to Goo Crane and have your ass sit down there in the goddamn goo, and while everybody else participate in the conversation except you, because you can't understand the rules of the room. I'm letting you know, if you get sent to the fucking goo, it's me doing that shit. Not Sig, not KP, it's me. All right? So respect the brother's room, space of the room, right? Let people finish their fucking thoughts. Don't be rambly goddamn cutting people off because you're doing this shit intentionally just to fucking troll. I will shoot your ass to the fucking goo. Fair warning to every adult in this goddamn room. This is my first and only time saying this shit. Got it? Got it. Let's proceed with the conversation. Next speaker, please.
Rich, Beth, and then Magus. Go ahead, Rich. You got it.
Yeah, Norman made it very clear that he would not pay for you to sit at home and play Xbox. But he also said that if you want to go to something, he would pay for you. So, I mean, I think he was pretty consistent on that.
Yeah, but the whole point is a grown-ass, able-bodied adult. Nobody should be paying your way, bro. Whatever expenses you incur, whatever extracurricular activities you want to get into, that's your business, bro. That's your business. You need to fund that shit.
Yeah, but
it's not fair.
It's not clarification. I know. Just clarification. Like, I'm 40. I got 3 kids. What if I want to go back to trade school and, like, get extra crane certifications for the petroleum so I can make a boatload more money? Would you be okay with, like, the government subsidizing that, or should it just be like, oh, well, fuck it, I can't stop working right now and I can't help
Dr. Gruber!
I can't go get the certification, so fuck it, I'll just stay stuck where I'm at.
Dr. Gruber, I'm in a room.
Deal with it. You figure it out.
We make exceptions to help people.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and again,
We make police officers go to police academy too.
So here's the deal. Tuna brought this up, okay? Is that if you want to go and get educated, you do it on your own fucking time. That's not anybody else's problem. And if you didn't set yourself up to be in a position where you can afford it or have the time to complete it and afford it on your own, that's not everybody else's problem. So again, yeah. Tuna made the fact that it's
Tuna's a trust fund, baby.
Hold on 1 second. Tuna made the point that it's to help people who are not able-bodied. It's to help those, and it's a safety net. Safety net means you're doing everything that you can, and oops, something catastrophic happened, and you just need a little bit of temporary assistance, but you're paying into that system to kind of, withdraw from it, to get yourself back afloat, and then you get off of it and you repay back into that system. That's how it's operated. It's not just to sit there and fucking live off of everybody else's hard work, bro. It's for catastrophic events that happen, because guess what? Bad shit happens to good people. That's why we set this system up. But it's there for a safety net, not to fucking fund your lifestyle. That's the point people are making.
AKA, says.
Point of order, moderator. We got a queue here. Magus is number 3.
Hold on for a second.
So it's 30 seconds.
I know it.
Being a trust fund baby.
Hold on one second, bro. Hold on a second. You got it. What Sig basically just said, the welfare system is meant to be a stepping stone, right? Not a resting place. That's
a hand up, not a hand out.
We got the way hold on, Tuna, yo, don't do this, man. Don't fucking do this. I don't disrespect anybody else's rooms. I follow your rules to the fucking T. I don't interrupt mods. I don't overtalk mods. I don't overtalk other people. You're gonna show me the same fucking respect that I show you. And if you can't do it, then just be an adult and just leave if you're not capable of doing it. Beth, you got the mic next, and then Magus, and then Tuna will let you go, and we'll get back to the clip. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say, Sig, I'm looking at, most of them all left, but I was looking at your stage all the way down, and there were U.S. diplomats and Israel diplomats that came into this space, and I think sometimes we have to just push over to somebody else on our stage to pay attention, because I was like, holy shit, what the hell is happening in here?
Okay, Magus.
Okay, point of order, moderator. Magus is speaking. I did an AI query. I asked Grok. Oh, okay.
Adrian, did you want to? Yeah, I just wanted to ask her, did she get the screenshot of the people who were in the room that she was talking about and what their profiles look like? Did you get a screenshot?
I did not. I know them personally. I did not take a screenshot.
All right. Cool.
Okay, this is Magus. Banger room, gentlemen. Moderators, great work. Look at the size of your room. I think Clubhouse, to me, primarily is a place for people to complain. It's like a complaint department. But I want to complain about the title, meaning that the concentration of our focus is now on Jewish fraud. And I asked Grok, in the whole federal budget, and this is what it says, for federal 2025 federal spending, Medicare was $1 trillion, Medicaid $700 billion, SSA total $1.52 trillion, and cash payments of $232 billion. HUD gets $80 billion, Education Department gets $80 billion. The total estimated amount of fraud from all federal budgets and spending is well over $100 billion per year, gentlemen. So the problem begins with your federal government, which is borrowing and spending and issuing at least $100 billion in fraud annually. And this is why it's so important for all Americans to vote March 17th or for your primary to actually elect competent congresspeople and senators. Yeah, John Kitover is one of them. I have, I've drawn my flaming sword and I am striking my master chord. And the point is statistics, ladies and gentlemen, not racial identity politics, which unfortunately I have to complain. And I think that this room could be a racial identity politics complaint room because statistics and math, not many people know the truth of the earth. It begins at your birth and ends at your death. And the truth is, this is a complaint room. And I thank you for all letting me complain and listen to your complaints. But let's actually look at the numbers. Again, the problem begins with your federal government, your congresspeople, which borrow from the Federal Reserve or from China, and then they give out $100 billion in fraud. And so if you are complaining that you're not even getting a shekel or a penny or $1 or $100 a month, or you're not getting your SNAP benefits because now you got to go to work, the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a complaint room because the government is $40 trillion in debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt. So if you're going to complain about maybe $80 million in Curious Joel in fucking New Jersey with a bunch of smart Jews who know how to figure out how to game the system and they get to read content all day. Meanwhile, you guys create content all day. You guys just aren't getting paid for your content. Your consumption of content. These people have figured out a way to get paid to read. Meanwhile, you guys are here specifically calling out a group of people who figured out a way to beat the system that you can't seem to beat. So you got to come on here and complain. But the truth is, this type of fraud has been going on forever. And I just told you the numbers, $100 billion a year at least in fraud. But the big fraud is not with HUD and it's not with Food Snap. It's with fucking Medicare, Medicaid. It's that Indian doctor from New Delhi who's over here making $1.4 million while you can't pay your rent because they figured out how to game the system. And as Americans, we have allowed this to happen to ourselves because the whole system is one giant Ponzi scheme. and your congressperson is generally not even from America. You know that one guy, that Indian guy with the wig on? So, ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds? All right. Listen, there's one good indicator to know whether or not you should give someone more grace or less grace, and that's if they sound like an American. That means they've been speaking American their whole life. If you don't sound like an American, in my opinion, I'm not trying to be racist or xenophobic. I'm just saying we got to start prioritizing Americans and spending on Americans. That's the most important thing, because the whole system is for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, take your racial identity complaints. I've already submitted to the Jewish Complaint Department for you. It's an infinite complaint file. You might be on here 10 years complaining, but what are you going to do? That's the big question. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, beautiful room. Share the room. God bless you all.
Okay. Jesus.
Oh, and go to johnforcongress.com.
All right, you're done, Magus. All right, so
can I get in the queue, Sig?
Yeah, 3Ski has been waiting patiently. So just real quick, and then again, this isn't a Jewish complaint room. I've made that very clear. Unfortunately, you missed out on it, Magus. What I'm pointing out is the hypocrisy that.
It's my opinion. It's a complaint room. It's your opinion. It's not a complaint room.
Here we go. All right, I'm not doing this shit with you fucking retard person. All right, so again, it's not a Jewish complaint room. What it is I'm pointing out the hypocrisy, and I've stated this several times. This is the point of the room, is that when fraud is exposed in other communities, you don't see sponsors dropping, okay? Tyler Rivera has exposed a lot of fraud in a lot of communities. You can check his catalog. This has never happened before. Only now, when he does the same exact thing he's been doing for years, he now is doing it to the Jewish community. Everybody wants to drop him. Patreon dropped him, sponsors dropped him, lost ad revenue. So again, there is something going on to where, and we've seen it time and time again, whenever the Jewish community gets a little bit of criticism, we don't see the same results as we do everybody else.
Oh!
There's something going on here, and it's blatant. Everybody can fucking see it, okay? Second, exactly to your point, Magus, I will agree to you. And it's a bigger issue. It's a government issue that weekends need to start paying more attention and holding our government accountable and not allowing them to just willy-nilly have all these loopholes and hand out all this fucking taxpayer money to people who are clearly abusing it. And it's not just the Jewish community that's clearly abusing it. It's the Black community. It's the Jewish community. It's the Arab community. It's the Somali community.
It's the Hindu community.
We have a lot of.
Don't forget the Hindus. They're big. They got 1.4 billion followers.
To the pot, but they'll take. And that's what the main issue is. We need to start clamping down on this. So that's where I agree with you. 3Ski, you got the mic if you're there. You there? Or are you on the phone? Okay, we're going to pass them up. Anybody else want to chime in before we get into
just 2 seconds? Pistachio, you were saying that you couldn't, if you're bad with kids and shit like that, working and stuff, you can't do the same thing they're doing. I'll give you an example. There's a 16-year-old kid that was on Dateline NBC or whatever, one of those shows, and they were interviewing him, and he was from a really poor background and shit, young black kid. And he started going to the library, and he started getting this thing called the Blue Book, which has all the grants and scholarships. They get over $1.6 million raised to go to college. And they jokingly said, what are you going to do with this? And he said, I'm going to go to school for the rest of my life. I mean, you literally can get all your bills paid for. There's government funds and stuff like that that'll help assist you. You could do this if you wanted to go back to college and get a bachelor's degree and stuff like that. And there is financial aids and stuff that will actually help you pay all your bills while you go to college. There's literally billions of dollars. So $15 on Amazon, you can buy the Blue Book. It has all the grants and scholarships, and you can get those. And they cut a check. Most of them, a lot of them will actually cut a check directly to you, and then you just cash the check and you spend on whatever you want.
All right. Anybody else before we get back to the clip? All right. Here we go.
It's Jews, and it's Jews that are expanding their territory.
Jews make news.
So my name is Jenna Galarza. I've lived in Jackson for approximately 23 years. I want to say it really started affecting me when I had my children. I have twins. They're 20 now. From a assimilation perspective, you want to be able to teach your children how to talk to other children and, be part of other cultures. And that was when it really started hitting me.
Why are you?
Let's say if I would go to a store which was closer to Lakewood, I'm pushing a double stroller, I have twins, and I noticed that nobody would hold the door open for you. At one point, a door literally got slammed on my twin stroller, and I was just like, whoa, At that point, there wasn't a lot of Orthodox living in Jackson, but they were coming to our parks a lot. And they would come to the parks, busloads, vans full. And the park would just get turned upside down. I mean, we're talking about diapers being changed anywhere and being thrown on the floor. We're talking about children literally urinating in public and absolutely not interacting with your children. So listen, at that time, if it was a minion, there was 10 men, not a big deal. But then you started to notice that it was no longer just 10 people. It was 20 people and 30 people. Just completely changing the feel, the character, the comfort that you once had in your neighborhood is no longer there.
And another source of conflict is the Jewish community using residential homes as places of worship, often without approval from the Jackson Planning Board, bringing in tons of outside traffic and destroying the peaceful quality of the neighborhood.
We can have even more, if you work in an office and there's 10 Jewish men there, you can just take a conference room for 10 minutes. We don't need like a formal like church. I've prayed in parking lots with, we're going somewhere and there's get other guys together.
And if you're living in a residential neighborhood and this house becomes like a revolving door of people coming in and praying constantly parking their cars, I imagine there's some quality of life concerns, right? Increased traffic and the streets being covered with cars and people all over the Western Wall. I don't think that's what really happened, but
Some might probably say that because they don't like us. They don't want us.
This home used to be probably about 1,100 square feet. It does have a new owner. Apparently, they did get permits to expand on their house. Most of the permits are just, kind of just given. Nothing is really followed through. This home will be being used for a full-out temple. Yeah. Well, that means that they're going to be praying in this home several times a day, probably staying over on Friday nights until Saturdays. As you can see, there's no parking lot here. This is going to affect every person that lives here. And the other problem that I have with this, and that I think should be looked into, is there's definitely funding going to these places.
I said, hey, they're building a temple. What the hell? What might happen next?
You would probably be called an anti-Semite. They will make your life miserable. Nobody wants to live across the street to a synagogue. It is a tactic of getting people to sell their homes, and they will have liars for them.
And you see this, and then you watch buildings get built before they're approved. They build and ask permission later, and then if they even don't get permission, they sue, and they wait for permission. So when you have all these things where they're creating hatred, they create the double standard, they create the animosity between two groups. And when I say they, I mean governments and people that buy old politicians to make favorable laws, because a lot of this they do is legal because they bought the politicians to make it legal. Do you think residents in Jackson who do not want Jackson to be majority Jewish or to look?
Again, if anybody wants to chime in, just come on mic and start speaking, and I'll pause it.
Feel it sound like Lakewood.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead,
Yeah, so there is a separation of church and state specifically for this reason. George Fox knew it when he started the Quaker movement, that when you have people that are using the religious entitlements and trying to form religious exceptionalism, and using that to be able to manipulate and game the system in this way, that is why there is a separation between church and state, and it should be recognized for what it is, which is administrative terrorism. It should be illegal.
They bought the politicians to make it legal. Do you think residents in Jackson who do not want Jackson to be majority Jewish or to look, feel, and sound like Lakewood, do you think that is anti-Semitic?
Well, people have a right to freedom of speech, freedom of their opinion, even if they're going to be bigoted.
Do you think that's bigoted though, right? Because I imagine you don't want this place to be Islamic.
Only because the radical Islamists want to kill us. Other than that, I have no problem.
I think they're radical Jews and they're radical Christians.
Which Orthodox Jews are radical Jews that want to hurt people?
Many people could argue there are distinct sects of Judaism that are
I don't know.
saying you wouldn't want Lakewood to become predominantly Muslim. Radicalism aside, right?
Right.
Just like Jackson residents don't want it to be predominantly Jewish.
So if a Muslim wants to buy a house here and pay way more than what the house would sell outside our community because of the fact that the prices go up when we come in, they're free to do it. And
so
like a unofficial organization that I had started. When I saw everything turning, I just was very vocal on social media, and I decided to organize. Certain people really wanted to get involved. There were a few of us that, we would have letter writing campaigns, making a lot of calls to county officials, local officials, and state officials, trying to find out what ordinances could be created, what we could do to help prevent a full-out turnover. The sign would say Jackson Strong don't sell, meaning if a new neighbor moves in next to you, don't run, don't sell. Why would you move? Stay strong, right?
Would they sell?
They would sell because it just got too much. And anytime you would say anything about it, you were anti-Semitic. I mean, there were Facebook pages created just to slander me. They would manipulate pictures of me. They would put, Russian hats on me, a Hitler mustache. These were things that were even coming out of Israel. At one point, there was a post where, somebody had said that, she needs to have an ice pick in her eye.
Real quick, Rico, you might as well just give up Race Nation. I'm back on the stage, bro. You came on stage and the first thing out of your mouth is fuck Jews. I see where your mentality's at, so you're not welcome on the stage. You can sit in the audience and listen.
Something like that, I did go to the prosecutor's office, and my Jackson Strong page was taken down for no good reason at all. It was just taken down. There was a page, Rise Up Ocean County, which was a pretty important part of everything that was happening. That page was taken down also. However, it was hijacked. So when our page was taken down, just for stating the facts, when you're bringing out the Kaporis incident, when they're cutting the necks of the chickens and blood is pouring through the streets, and you're talking about that, you're posting videos, and all of a sudden your Facebook page gets taken down, only to be replaced with a complete anti-Goyim harassment page. And you could report that page over and over, and you could have a campaign of people reporting that page, yet that page remained up.
Do you want Lakewood to be predominantly Muslim? Does he personally do?
No.
And why?
Because say
they don't want to kill you.
I'm fine with people moving in, but to have Jewish schools, we have to have a critical mass of Jews here to support Jewish schools. To have kosher grocery stores, supermarkets, we have to have a critical mass of Orthodox Jews here to support kosher supermarkets. By the way,
so using that logic, why would anyone in Jackson want Jackson to have more Jews move? If you're arguing there needs to be a critical mass for
how are we infringing on their right to their ability to do whatever they want?
I'm not saying you are, but why would they want that? Why would they think it is?
Fans are one or not one. If somebody's selling their house to an Orthodox Jew, the Orthodox Jew is allowed to buy the house.
Sure, but I'm talking about the people who are not selling their houses to Orthodox Jews.
They have the right to do that.
Of course, but that doesn't make them a bigot, not wanted. It doesn't mean they're hateful. It doesn't mean they hate you.
What is it, their lifestyle that we're going to change?
This is a hypocrisy. This is our normal right here. This is our normal's cadence. Right? Is you're saying it's okay for your community to be hugely dense and take over, and it's nothing but your community, but you have a problem when someone else does it. That's the fucking hypocrisy. What's up?
Well, just to say something for the room, I don't know if anybody in the room know what Darvo is, but Darvo, D-A-R-V-O, is a debate tactic, right? It means deflect, attack, reverse, victim, offender. Meaning that when you're criticizing someone or, you're making an observance of something that they're doing and you're holding them accountable, they will immediately turn victim and they will try to reverse it onto you, putting you on the defense, right? Thing that I know whenever he gets into debates with people or come into these rooms, and he tries to spin the conversation back in a direction that is more favorable to him to where he can win the argument. And this is something that I notice not that only he does, but people of his community does this shit. It's almost as if like this is a learned tactic. Like it's a curriculum in school or something that they must learn this shit. And they do it very well. If you're not aware of the tactics,
good and evil exist. Good is what God demands, or what God dictates. Like this, good and evil are like determined by God in this worldview, right? So when I start, you can't say
all hail Megatron.
You can't start saying, "Oh, but you're an atheist. You don't believe in evil." That's not the point. That would be external. Yeah, an external critique. I would just say, "Fucking, I don't believe in God. I don't believe evil exists." That's not the point.
You don't think evil exists? Do you think ugliness exists?
Shut up, John.
It's a good question. No, that's how they say it in Marcus Aurelius. We know what good is because it's beautiful, and we know what ugly is because it's bad. They're connected words. Hello? No, it's true. I mean, you're using words. I'm using words too. Hello?
It's a really good point. Do you understand what I'm saying about you can't bring up?
So what I think you're doing is misrepresenting what it means to be one God. What is one God mean to you? Because I think you're not understanding what monotheism is.
What are you talking about? You believe in three gods, first of all. But one God is one
He
God.
believes in the miracle of the Trinity. He's a Trinitarian, CM.
Yeah, he believes in the Father God, the Son God, and the Spirit God.
Yeah.
That's three
But
gods.
CM, you're so stupid. You don't even see it from a mathematical perspective. It means synthesis, change, delta, transformation, chemical equipment. See, you're not. You can't even be. You,
No.
See, since you got that chalkboard in front of you, the board, do 1 times 1 times 1. See what that equals.
Wait, hold on. That's a good point. That was a good point. But at the same time, he's still not representing what it means, what monotheism is. Like, what is monotheism? Monotheism is the belief in what? One God. And what is that one God?
Nothing to do.
What is that? Because you define monotheism.
I'm down with calendar.
Yeah, you define monotheism.
One God, bro. Just believe in one God.
no, it's just one. You don't even need to use the word God because it's talking about a state of consciousness or essentially omniscience. Infinite omniscience, eternal infinite omniscience, that there is one God, one reality, one now throughout the whole universe. And everyone here is living in a different century, I think, than me. I think I live in 2026. I like that calendar number. Some people say 1400, some people say 5765. I'm like, bro, it's 2026, man. Can't we get at least one thing? Is there nothing that's not a fact? Is there nothing that's not a fact? It's all opinion? Even the fucking year? What year am I living in? What year is this? Hello?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing one of my skits. This is one of my skits. I do the same shit. I freak out on them. Like, what the fuck, man?
I think you just won against CM. Never seen CM just concede that quick.
Yeah, but CM is he just doesn't know what monotheism means.
Shake, I liked your response. What's 1 times 1? Which is 1. And that's a very funny way of talking of the one, you know? It's because a lot of this is math, you know?
1 times 1 times 1 times 1.
Yeah. I mean, math is one way to understand essentially, which is kind of like an attitude, in my opinion, because if you're happy and you know it,
Times 1 times 1. They always bring up the three gods. That's such a weird way of, like, so weak, too. So boring.
It's weak.
It's one God.
I'm not worried, guy.
He's still here. they're really kicking ass over there, huh? Kicking ass, taking names. Over in Iran.
Iran did something. They did something that I kind of like. They painted fighter jets on just the ground. So, and then somebody tried to strike it, and they only struck like a painting. So they wasted money hitting concrete.
You know, say what you want about George Bush, but if he didn't plunge us into war on 9/11/01, we wouldn't actually maybe have the operational knowledge on how to necessarily even, successfully conduct the operations. But do you know how many bombs they've dropped already on Iran?
No, I'm not. I don't.
I want to say I read 2,000 or 5,000.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
They were saying they had like maybe something over like 13,000 warheads stockpiled.
Propaganda now is like more important than ever before, and I've been creating pro-American military victory songs using AI, and I can't tell you how important it is to actually create pro-American propaganda because I never hear it. And when I made my own pro-American music on AI, I fell in love with American exceptionalism all over again. The greatness of our philosophy is in the wisdom of the forefathers, which is Washington, Lincoln, etc. These men truly had the gift of the word. And if you read any of their writings or Jefferson, and then you compare it to the content that you might consume on Clown House, you know what divine is because it's intelligence, it's wisdom. But I'm just saying that people on this app don't exhibit intelligence.
Bro, they said 2,000 targets already hit. That doesn't say how many bombs, though. Because they do things simultaneously. So they'll shoot it off the freaking frigate, right? And then while those things are in orbit, like those things are in, like, they're flying close to the ground, right? Under radar. They have planes flying in the sky that are doing crazy speeds and then dropping stuff. So they do it simultaneously. Where they all kind of like land at the same time. Which is kind of like, or they hit different targets all at the same time. It's like the planes will like guide the missiles and then gear off last second and then go somewhere else while the missiles hit. So it almost looks like the planes are shooting the missiles that are already in the sky, but then they gear off in another direction. It's kind of trippy. It's trippy. And then they got the drones keeping out the scene beforehand. Right. You gotta see the way they do this shit. It's really sophisticated.
The hottest and fastest growing startups are these attack drone AI corps, and they're really this is people on this app yesterday were saying Zelensky's offering weapons to the Kurds. So like there is this huge international weapons trafficking network, and this has opened Pandora's box, and they're going at 2 a.m, and Congress voted yay on giving Trump access to the war. So it's not stopping; it's only expanding. I just put
what stock do we buy? Palantir.
Well, you should have bought it, when it was 90% cheaper than it is today. But I knew.
It's bouncing back now. Yeah, for sure.
I knew about it a long time ago. I just didn't have any money to or have the desire to trade. honestly, I think I'm so glad that I don't have a stock market portfolio anymore. I'm like, oh my god,
Why?
because you end up reading it like it's a book, and it's just so much information that comes out of financial news that like it ends up becoming your primary like reading. I've spent so many years of my life just reading financial news, and it's like it's really not it's just spam. It's low grade spam. You'd be much better studying other content.
You should go with Dave Ramsey and tell him. Yeah, it depends on what you are. Yeah, if you want to be involved in the market, then you're right, man. You just gotta be like all over these different news heavy, because there are opportunities, man. I mean, like it or not, I mean, there's many things that are in the news that present an opportunity for somebody to make money. And but I've noticed it's a lot of it is about patience and discipline, but it's also overwhelming, and you got to know like how to sift out the noise, because as you said, there's like so many headlines, there's so many claims, and you just gotta sort of see what's going on in the background and move accordingly. Men and women of America's armed forces, may God bless. Because it's like oil prices are going up. Okay, so if oil prices are going to go up and they're going to continue to go up because we're in this war and this war is not ending anytime soon, you might as well profit from some bounce.
I think if anything, probably get a put option for next year on oil. Get one of these oil stocks and then do a put option, because there's no way that the oil price is going to stay like, it'll probably climb up to 130 maybe, but there's no way it's going to stay at 130 and then everybody's going to be happy. And then naturally it'll drop down by next year or before next year. And then you can probably sell out of that position earlier if it's realized.
Yeah, see, I like that. Prepare for the inevitable. What goes up must come down, especially with the oil, because that's a huge talking point.
The whole thing is a fluctuation, and we should hypothetically apply force when we need to apply force. But hypothetically, there's also this book called The Practical Rights and Necessities to Demand Everything, or The Right to be Greedy. And in the end, it says that we weren't greedy enough. And so that really means lowering the interest rate to maybe even a negative 1%. If we do that, we invert the banks and they actually pay us for our, loan to them. So the whole thing can be manipulated, but it just takes the will to overcome the influence somehow. I think through communication, it's possible to essentially resolve the debt crisis, which ultimately causes global conflict. But, I just hope that if you have children, they don't suffer at the hands of terrorists or dying in, actual combat overseas. Because when you study history, if you read Caesar and you read other, historical books, that everything is temporal or temporary. For example, Syria and Bashar Assad's regime was completely obliterated, and he now lives in exile in a luxury condo building in Moscow. But the thing that most people on Clown House don't know, even though they constantly say they hate the Russians, is that the Russians and the Chinese and the Indians, they control like 80% of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like total landmass, natural resources. But anyways, this whole conflict is not necessarily because of the United States. I'm not spreading propaganda or hate speech, but it's just the 1946 polarization between the West and the East, which is actually still there because the Russians are the world's largest military-industrial complex manufacturers, in addition to the United States, then the British, then the French, then the Germans, then the Italians, etc. I'm just saying weapons manufacturing for the militaries of those countries is a huge industry. We print tanks out that we don't even need, but we do it just to keep them running. So in my opinion, it's insane. But the whole thing is like artificial, and it's a miracle that it even works. And when you stop it, that's probably the biggest disaster, is to stop doing what you're doing. Meaning that you got to keep doing. And if you study Torah,
what the hell are you saying, man?
if you study Torah, the ultimate conclusion, this is the whole conclusion of all the Torah. It's just productivity. That's the word, productive. And unfortunately, many people are not productive. But I will also say that if you read a book, that's work. And people should say you shouldn't even be paid for that. Hello?
Shalom.
Shalom alaikum.
Hello? Shalom.
Hello?
Alumi came back. Thanks, brother.
So, yeah, thanks for coming down.
You guys
Yeah,
made
the
a new
whole
room.
show. Yeah, the whole shit. Yeah, we made a new room because sometimes the other room gets a little stale.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you need to do your app so you can get, tokens and shit.
What are those?
You can't even
How much is it a month?
Is it
for some reason, I can't send you any.
Yeah, but how much is it? How much is it to pay for the fucking app?
$5?
Oh my god, bro!
It's not $5. It's more than that.
Yeah, it's gotta be
$5 a month. What are you talking about?
And will you just make money if you pay the $5?
It's not about that. It's like you can see the space. This is how we regulate the space. Capitalism is going to give the reason to people in Clubhouse to structure and behave. That's the whole point.
Do you have to pay to play?
I mean, that's what you want.
You want
Yeah.
They want to
Sorry, I wanted to say something.
the Christian jizya called
Yeah,
reparations
Matt,
of
what Matt?
purgatory.
What mic on Matt?
Mike, I'm Matt. Oh, appreciate that. I didn't want to say anything. Oh, he sounds like a white guy. I think we should actually wait.
Yeah, we should let him do some stock options. Go ahead. What mic on Matt?
What's the stock option? Yo, Steven made a stock call a month ago, though. It's up like 300%. Steven, did you buy in on that? What was the pick? SCV. Oh, SCV. Yeah. Wow, you remember SCV? Yeah. It's only been up. Yeah, it's up. Yeah, when you called it, it was at $1.20. Oh, $1.20. Yep. It's at $3 now.
But that was pharmaceutical, right?
No, it's a solar car company. Oh, dang it. It doubled? You got a double up? Okay, triple.
Some call options and RCAT.
Is there any stock that anybody thinks is gonna, they feel very surely about?
RCAT.
PLTR, Palantir.
Fuck that, I'm not selling my soul to Satan.
Yo, you Louie, what's up? If you can't beat them, join them.
And you call yourself a Christian, bro. You're gonna be so shocked when Christ.
Altura is a future momentum stock at a valuation, like fundamental value pricing. It's still in the bargain bid, but it's going to be a momentum stock in 2 years.
Which one?
SEV or Aptera Motors.
Oh, okay. So this is the same one.
Yeah, this is Microsoft.
RCAT.
They make a car that will do 40 miles a day on solar energy alone. You could buy this car and never have to gas it or electrify it ever. And just drive it and never have to fuel it again. That's a good value. There's nothing in the market that can do that.
Okay, but anything more like short return?
IBRX. Shitbox of America, I promise.
IBRM?
Every poor person in America wants short term.
GRE for the short term. GRE.
Have you guys heard of ticker symbol JOHN? If you look up ticker symbol JOHN, we recently listed on the pink sheets. We record clubhouse rooms across 30 different phones in 4 different recording studios. It's the hottest, newest media company. It does trade on the penny sheet. Ticker shit is JOHN. If you buy 1 million shares at a penny, well, I will give you a 40% free advertising buy on our network of Clownhouse recording studios. Some of you have actually been part of the business for many years now, unwillingly or willingly, like Megatron here. Point of order, moderator. I'm not finished speaking. Don't interrupt me. Mute your mic. I'm not done speaking. Be a gentleman. Be a gentleman. I'm giving you an investment opportunity that could 10x in less than 30 days. This is only for friends and family. This is the insider first buy. This is the round A funding and financing investment opportunity. This isn't a joke. Point of order, moderator. I just bought 350 gold coins here, and I'm willing to share them with my friends. If you want to hear me speak and you want your free gold 10 shekels, I'll send you 10 gold coins right now here on Clownhouse. Point of order, moderator. I'm the one with the gold. I'm the one with the coins. You don't want to hear me?
Calm down. All right.
I got the gold. I got the coins, guys. I got it. Hello.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I'm confused. Is this like the way you want to always exit the stage? You want to be like kicked out? Like, I'm confused. Why do you keep doing this? Because I heard you in the other room. You landed your point, and then you intentionally disrupted that guy. Like,
it's because I just
Like, I remember you, John.
Illumi.
I'm just gonna put him down.
Don't put him down.
I'll put him down. I gotta see him.
You want the coins?
Yeah, I'll take the coins later. I can't.
He can't accept them even. He can't even take
them. Go ahead, CM.
Too new of an account, probably. Anyways.
CM, what's up? Yeah.
So why are you having so much trouble understanding what an internal critique is? Like, again, I told you some of the common responses.
Okay,
you can just give the common response.
If you're gonna give internal critique, you have to explain what the one God means.
You don't have to explain anything. Like, again, I just told you what the problem of evil is. I gave you some of the common responses.
You're misrepresenting.
Oh, there's a problem of evil? Let's hear this. I'd love to hear this.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to
Forget about misrepresenting. Let him start it. Let him do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's the problem of evil?
Let me say it again. I told you some of the common responses is, like, for example, like Original was saying...
Okay, get your free coins. Jewish charity. All right, this is my Jewish charity. This is John Zachary Kitover. Okay, this is Free Gold Coins Clownhouse Jewish Charity. Ribono Shel Olam. We're going to invite some people to the room. Welcome back to Free Gold Coins, Clownhouse Jewish Charity. This is your friend, Strength Philosophy Magus. Ribbono Shalom, the Shabbos is falling upon us once again. Another successful week of content farming, aura farming. Ribbono Shalom. Okay, everybody, this is Free Gold Coins Clown House Jewish charity. Oh, Ribbono Shalom, I know I saw so many jobs being lost. But not here. We have a charity service. It's a non-profit if you want your free gold coins. Come back, everybody. Hit that like button and subscribe. Don't let it slip away.
And family, this is the Insider First Buy. This is the round A funding and financing investment opportunity. This isn't a joke. Point of order, moderator. I just bought 350 gold coins here, and I'm willing to share them with my friends. If you want to hear me speak and you want your free gold 10 shekels, I'll send you 10 gold coins right now here on Clubhouse. Point of order, moderator. I'm the one with the gold. I'm the one with the coins. You don't want to hear me? I got the gold. I got the coins, guys. I got it. Hello?
Why do you do that? Bitch, why do you do that? I'm confused. Is this like the way you always exit the stage? You want to be like kicked out? Like, I'm confused. Why do you keep doing this? Because I heard you in the other room. You landed your point, and then you
An opportunity that could 10x in less than 30 days. This is only for friends and family. This is the Insider First Buy. This is an opportunity that could doing what you're doing, meaning that you got to keep doing. And if you study Torah, the ultimate conclusion, this is the whole conclusion of all the Torah. It's just productivity. That's the word, productive. And unfortunately, many people are not productive. But I will also say that if you read a book, that's work. And people should say you shouldn't even be paid for that. Hello? Stop it. That's probably the biggest disaster, is to stop doing what you're doing. Stop it. That means they've been speaking American their whole life. If you don't, that means they've been speaking. She's not a prostitute, for God's sake. She's not just artistic. Is the true basis of the economy that you're able to earn daily, which is just as deadly and precise, and they can manufacture those at scale. And then which is alone. I'm happy.